A transformative movement is taking root on Colorado's farms and ranches. This movement has the potential to improve the environment and make our farms and ranches more productive and profitable through healthy soils that store more water and sequester more carbon. The farming pioneers behind this movement are breathing new life into their farms and ranches and growing a new hope in healthy soil for all of us. These are Colorado's Voices for Soil Health.
You know, I hear good farmers say to me, well, you can't do cover crops, we don't get enough rain to do that stuff. And yet there's evidence that supports that you can. So we've got to get that word out. And you know, you asked maybe why I was doing this. That's one of the things, you know, my little piece is if I can be a voice and try to support this push and educate, you know, that's what we need to do.
If we could get more people doing it and sharing together, I think our results and our learning curve would exponentially explode, and we would just be that much further ahead. Right now I think it's one guy over here and one guy over there kind of trying to figure things out, but if that guy could help out that guy, that ain't, that's not going to work. I already did that, or this is going to work. And I think that's the conferences I've gone to and listened to those farmers, I've been able to leap exponentially.
Where I am here on the Colorado River, there's a lot of discussion. Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Imperial Valley. We're talking about wise water use and water rights, and there's a whole nother aspect of farming that we don't really think of necessarily. We have a water right and we apply water to our crops and we smile and we go down the road. Well, we're starting to have competing interests for that water, and as a society we're going to have to decide what the right way to use water is, and soil health is an obvious answer to making better use of our water.
Soil health was not a word you heard around here 5 or 6 years ago. This valley didn't know anything about it, and the Heralds came to us and said, we'd like to improve this and we need help. And so I started doing research and digging and finding that we do have help out there. There are people that are trying stuff to improve their soil and their ground, and we just need to make it work in our valley. We need to be creative and think outside the box so it works for us, because what works in North Dakota or the Midwest doesn't necessarily work here. And so some creative thinking and trial and error.
We have got to start working with nature. Soil health is the only way to achieve that. We've got to step back, look at how nature does it, and try to whatever degree we can, and still make a living. There's that trade-off there, but we've got to start mimicking nature instead of fighting nature.
When you set your mind to it, you don't want to look back, because it's the first few years. We tried ridge till before sprinklers were popular, and even after the sprinklers, the center pivots were, and the first year in that worked pretty good. The second year the ground got hard. The third year it got so hard you couldn't put enough weight on the planter to make it work. The fourth year you got to take all the weight back off the planter. And this has been kind of the same progression. I think the soil has to change. We've been a monoculture and dried it out and did everything we could to keep the ground dry, to get rid of weeds. And I think this has changed. I think we've got to change our thinking a little bit. In other words, it's not the way Dad did it or Grandpa did it. It's a new term.
I think we just need to look at the soil as a living ecosystem instead of as a growing medium. It's full of bacteria, protozoa, nematodes, microarthropods, and fungus, and we need to feed it. Every farm producer that's farming has livestock. It's just some of us might not have 4 legs. Some of us have livestock underground. And if you're out there and you're not growing anything on your fields, you're not feeding your livestock essentially. And we also need to be feeding our livestock a diverse diet. So that's where cover crops come into play.
I tell people it's almost like adopting a religion. You have to believe and you have to study and understand, but it takes time for this to develop. It doesn't happen overnight. And, you know, that's the biggest challenge, is to how we can build that patience to get us through it. And having been through the no-till deal, I guess I have more patience than some might. And that's the probably biggest challenge. But I guess I would tell people, hang in there, and it works, it will work to whatever degree, lessening for some of us and better for others. But it's going to be the way to go.
Learn more about Colorado's Soil Health Partnership at www.co.nrcs.usda.gov.